What's up, guys? Welcome back to another podcast, another episode of TheHeleyCast. And my guest today is Representative 34. 33. We have two representatives here with, in the Stillwater area, so I get them confused. District 33, John Talley.
Yes, sir.
Welcome back. We've had you.
Thank you.
We had you on, 4 years ago?
4 years ago.
4 years ago. And how have you done so far?
That's a loaded question.
Is it?
But I want to make sure that people understand now that District 33, used to be called District 33 Payne County.
Correct.
But now it actually goes all the way down to I-35 and, Golden Chick.
Where Guthrie is?
Where Guthrie is.
Really?
And then all the way to Drumright.
Really?
And so I lost Perkins, the main part of Perkins, and then I'm not in Stillwater, the main part of Stillwater.
Right.
So
what district is Perkins?
Perkins now is in 32, which is Kevin Wallace's.
Okay. So everything changes
every 10 years.
Every 10 years.
It depends on the maximum amount of people in Oklahoma. And so they said we grew about 400,000 people.
Wow.
We're up to 4 million. And so now everybody's supposed to take, all 100 of us are supposed to take approximately 40,000 people.
Wow.
Instead of, it was 38.5,
Okay,
and now
so
it's 40,000.
So 5,000 more people, basically. Or is it 40,000 more people?
No, it would be 2,000 more for each one of us.
Okay, I got you. Okay,
Yeah.
okay, I got you. Okay, wow. I mean, that's quite a bit of people that have moved into Oklahoma.
Right.
What's causing the move? Just because of blue states doing what they kind of do? Or?
That's definitely part of it, but you got a lot of people that didn't like the fires out in Nevada and California.
Okay.
And so they've moved. Some people from New York have moved
Businesses
this way.
have moved in as
Some
well?
businesses have moved in,
What kind of
especially
business
in
has moved
the
in
Pryor area, because they have that really big industrial park. And so I don't even know all of them, but like Canoe that builds cars moved into Oklahoma City.
I'm aware of Canoe. Canoe's kind of a competitor against Tesla, I believe.
Yes,
right?
yes.
And instead of picking Tulsa, Tesla or Elon picked Austin.
Right.
And then Canoe picked Oklahoma. Picked us. So, jobs all around. That's the main point, right? Getting jobs to people. What's our employment rate here in Oklahoma? Do you know? Like,
it's 4 point right now.
So it's gone up,
and
or
it's gone up just a little bit, like from 3.7 to 4%. And I never do understand exactly the unemployment rate, because when I drive through Cushing and Stillwater and Yale, there's always signs up that say, need help.
Right.
So how come people aren't working? That bothers me, because I think COVID has still had an impact on us, of people not wanting to get out but get some of that ARPA money but not go to work. And so I don't know. Well, we need teachers.
We definitely need teachers. I've heard about the whole teaching thing. It's not. It's just like we have. Well, I heard a statistic just recently. We have like 36,000 teachers that could teach in the state of Oklahoma, but they decide, nah.
Right.
They have the degree to teach.
Right.
But instead they pursued something else for a career.
Well, we lost, in dealing with this, we lost about 450 childcare centers.
Okay.
So like Renaissance here in Stillwater is a great place for kids, but we lost like 5 around Stillwater. So if you had kids and you wanted to go to work, you've got to find a place that, one, you can afford. So you've got to have a high enough paying job that you can, but if you can't find the childcare place, so out here on 68th Street and it's, like 4 miles out of town, I went out there to check because she's a new childcare place. Right. And she said she was struggling. She would like to take people, and I didn't understand this. There's so much to understand in government.
Definitely.
Okay.
And you've only been there for 4 years.
Yeah, 6 years.
6 years.
But there's so much to learn. Let's say that you don't make a lot of money and you get a credit card kind of thing from DHS, Department of Human Services.
Right.
They want to help you with your child care, okay? So you've got to find a child care center that has a credit card reading machine from DHS. Well, this lady out there, she applied 4 months ago and they said they were working on it. She had 5 people that wanted to come, but
she can't accept them until she gets...
Right. So I called, and guess what? The next day, they got the machine. That's one of the frustrating things.
Yeah.
You know, I have that little tiny thing that says State House of Representatives.
Right.
I wear on my lapel.
Yeah.
It's sad, but when I call and check on things, it's different than when you call. And that's not right.
No, it shouldn't be. No, it shouldn't be that way at all. I mean, you are our representative. I get that you're our representative. But at the same time, even if I called, they should still be able to handle
That's right.
it.
That's right. Yeah. And I think a lot of people that are thinking about running for government jobs think that, okay, I'm for whatever it is.
Correct.
And they limit themselves because this past week, even though the election's coming up, I drove way out in the country on a dirt road.
And just pausing, the election is June 18th, correct?
Right.
Yeah,
yes.
June 18th. Yeah.
Like 2 days from now.
Get out there and vote. This will
Please.
be posted tomorrow.
Yeah,
So
get out
I'll
and
be
vote.
editing tonight.
Okay.
And getting this done, and we'll have it out tonight.
Well, just like we drove down this dirt road to your house. And I went out there, and it hasn't been graded in like 2 years. And they've been calling the county commissioner. Well, I drove out there, and I met with all 20 people that live down this dirt road.
Right.
They were like, thank you so much. No one's ever visited us. And I'm like, but isn't that what your state representative should be doing, is finding problems and fixing them?
Exactly.
And so that's what I try to do.
Let's talk about the campaign real quick.
Okay.
Your last time I checked, you were 4 points ahead of your opponent, Molly Jenkins. I went and sat with the GOP and listened to her, and she had some interesting points. And I just want to bring up a few of them.
Okay.
I don't want to go through the whole list. This would take us all night.
Yeah.
Just like my very first one, that kind of bothers me. I'll be completely honest. You co-sponsored allowing illegal aliens to obtain an Oklahoma driver's license. Explain that to me.
Thank you for bringing that up.
Yeah.
Actually, it seems to me that people don't read the 5 or 10 or 20 page law that we're trying to pass. They just look at your
header or the title of the bill. Yeah.
So I actually brought information
They may
on
read
this.
the first or second paragraph, but like you said, if it's 5 to 10 pages, I'll admit I'm not going to read a 5 to 10 page bill. I'll read the first or second paragraph and be like, okay, this is basically what I kind of understand of it.
So one of the representatives, Ryan Martinez, came to me and he said, John, and he brought with him Farm Bureau people, Oklahoma Highway Patrol people, state, and so I've got it written right here, what they handed me, the Oklahoma State Chamber, and 40 other groups that support this bill.
Okay.
And I looked at it and I was like, oh, AFL-CIO, Cattlemen's Association. And they said, John, Oklahoma is the #1 state of uninsured drivers. #1. So if you have a wreck, there's a 1 in 10 chance the person that wrecks into you, it's their fault.
But they're uninsured.
So your insurance is going to have to pay for your car, and it's going to go up or they're going to drop you.
Right.
We could do something about that. And I said, oh, okay, what are you talking about? And they said, well, there's 35 documented, legal, they have a green card or they have a work visa, immigrants in Oklahoma. And I said, okay, I see them everywhere.
Right.
I mean, they do fingernails, They roof houses right down our street. There were 5 guys, and they roofed a house in one day.
Right, yeah.
I
get it.
They mow lawns. And they said, we would like for those people to be allowed to get a driver's license. It's a 2-year driver's license,
okay,
which will allow them to buy insurance.
Okay.
If half of them bought insurance for the car they're already driving,
right,
it could drop everyone else's car insurance by 30%.
Okay. Now you're winning me back over. Okay.
Would you be for that?
And I'm
like,
I
yes.
would be for that myself. Yes.
I see drivers all the time. I don't check their license.
Does that make them a legal citizen then?
No, it doesn't.
That's
this
why I
is
wanted
a
to get down, because it says
license.
illegal aliens to obtain an Oklahoma driver's license. Generally, if you're getting a driver's license, you and I, we're citizens of this great country.
Right.
We're citizens of this great state. So typically when I hear that kind of stuff, I'm like, so does this make them a citizen?
No.
Now it has a 2-year expiration date. That makes more sense. I'm actually more for this as long as it helps the Oklahomans with their insurance. And I'm okay.
Yeah.
I was going to rip into you on that one, but no, you got me on that.
If people would have stopped and looked at it,
yes, sir,
they would have been for it. And what's interesting is my opponent, the people that are backing her.
She's not explaining it
well. And putting it, well, it's because they don't want to. But what's funny is if you read this, the company the dark money that's supporting her, they actually were for this. OCPA was actually for this. Their name is listed on here.
They're out of state too, aren't they?
Almost in every state, there's some people. Okay. She's getting all of her flyer stuff done out of Arizona. It's dark money too.
I heard someone mention Arizona. Yeah.
So it's funny that she says no. What's the name of the money she says I'm taking?
Lobbyist money.
Lobbyist money. And what she's not saying is lobbyists won't give to someone that's never run.
I got you.
Because they don't know how they're going to vote.
And real quick, ladies and gentlemen, off camera is Saul Talley, John's son as well. Saul?
And your favorite football coach.
Yes, and my favorite football coach. He made me the quarterback for his team because he didn't have a choice because everyone got hurt.
But we still won.
Because I screwed up and ran into the end zone.
But that's what
it was a blown play.
Whether it's by 1 or 101, it counts as one.
True. Touche. Yes. No, I'm all for that then. Yeah, a 2-year driver's license.
And the driver's licenses are different color.
Okay.
And so
so it's obvious.
It's obvious, yeah, and you can't vote with it.
Well,
so that was the thing. But see, people twist.
That was my next question. Yeah. Would you be able to vote with something like
that? How many pages was that bill by the time it was
I think it was 13 pages long. Okay.
And so she took 13 pages and condensed it to, how many sentences are there? 4 or 5?
3.
Okay, 3 sentences. She took 13 pages and condensed it to 3 sentences, which, all of those votes on that whole page, every bill, there's so much more nuances to it.
Right.
And then you can put on one page, but that doesn't move the needle for people. They don't want to sit down and study it. They want representatives to go vote on it.
Yeah.
And it's super easy to run when you've never had to vote against somebody who's taken over 6,000 votes.
Yeah.
So out of 6,000 votes, there's 12, 13 that she's got a problem with.
And most of those are 4, 5, 6 years old.
Gotcha.
That my opponents in the past 4 times have brought up.
Like, what's the deal with House Bill 2597? You voted against allowing lawful citizens to exercise their Second Amendment right to constitutional carry?
Okay. Actually, that is called the permanentless carry bill. And so I put it out. I have about 500 on an email list. And I said, hey, here's the bill. What do you think? It's 27 pages long.
Okay.
And it's to allow anyone that's 21 that's legal to be able to buy a gun and carry it concealed or not concealed.
Why 21? Are we talking a handgun 21?
Yes.
Okay, so 18 we're still allowed to do rifles?
Yes.
Is that right? Okay.
But we just changed that law too, so I'll add to it in just a minute. So 6 years ago, that was my first gun bill. 188 constituents from District 33 emailed me and said, John, vote no, there's no training. And I know a lot of 21-year-olds that drink and act dumb.
No, that's true.
And could now carry a gun, concealed or not concealed, just out in the open.
I got you.
I had 2 people reach out that said vote yes on it. So do you think that a state representative is supposed to represent their constituents? And I do.
Right. I was just going to ask you, those 2 people that told you to vote yes, were they by chance a bigger corporation, such as maybe an NRA type of person? Really?
No, they're just 2 constituents here in Payne County.
I thought that's where you were going with that.
No.
Okay,
no.
really? Okay.
And I didn't look at it as a constitutional carry bill because there's 24 pages where you cannot carry a gun. You can't carry a gun in courthouse.
You can't carry a gun in schools.
You can't carry a gun in schools.
I heard that was up for debate for universities, carrying on universities.
It's been almost every year.
And it
hasn't passed. Okay. No. So that's why I didn't look at it as a constitutional carry, because to me, to carry a gun everywhere, anytime, for any reason, means they could carry it into the Capitol.
True.
Okay. So out of that bill, because I voted no, I've had a death threat. People calling and saying, you voted wrong. You know, we know where you live. We know your family.
Weapons can't go into the Capitol at that point.
No.
Now, don't get me wrong, the Capitol, even the post office, these are the places I'm naming, courthouse, our Payne County courthouse. These are the places you technically can't bring guns into, but at the same time, we, the people, do technically own those places, so we can technically record in there as much as we want.
Right.
I've seen the auditors, obviously. That's what I'm saying. So what's the reason for us not being able to have guns in these locations if you don't?
Okay, so answer this question for me. Why at NRA, OK2, Trump rallies, why can't people carry guns?
Assassination attempts,
sure.
etc. No, I just wanted to ask the whole question. Yeah. I mean, I've
had people slam doors in my face at the Capitol, yell and scream and cuss me out.
I mean,
what if they had a gun on them?
But that's our First Amendment right, and I mean, you're representing us. We should be able to come talk to you. Maybe not curse you out. No, obviously, I wouldn't come curse you out, but I would love to knock on your door and just have a conversation, which is awesome. What I've experienced with you, your door is always open. I've been able to email you. You are a busy man, and you get back to me as much as possible, but your door is generally always open as much as possible, especially with FCA, and it's just, you're a busy guy.
Well, and so think, what if I was watching the 8th grade, Saul was coaching, 8th grade football game, and some parents from Deer Creek got mad at the referees, came down right next to the field and started yelling cuss words and saying to the refs, we're going to get you in the parking lot. What if they had a gun on them?
That'd be an issue.
See, and so that's where you got to think, if people lose their ever-loving mind, that's why you can't carry a gun into an OSU football game.
That makes sense.
So 6 years ago, I voted no on this bill.
Yes.
Now it's been 6 years. I voted 29 times. Even just about a month and a half ago, I voted to lower the age because, look, if you're 18 and you can go to war for me,
right?
We lowered the age of guns, handguns, to be allowed to be bought.
Really?
To 18.
Interesting.
Yeah.
You think they're mature enough?
No. No. I still think you need, when Saul was a little boy, we went out and target practice with his I bought him a 1930 single shot 22.
Jeez. And
he had to show me safety. He had to act right.
Right.
And so.
Shout out to Winchester, by the way.
So, but kids today don't have the grandpas and the uncles, and it doesn't seem like.
I don't have the grandpas. I mean, I have the uncle. Like my dad's brother always invites me up to Minnesota to go hunting and learn. And
hope you go.
I should be going probably this fall. Learn how to do like real trapping, fur trapping. So
in the past 6 years,
yes,
I didn't vote for that, but it got voted in. So I said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make it a free gun safety course at my house. And so college students, even some professors, have come out to my house. I've hired an NRA guy to do gun safety. Now, it's not a concealed carry,
right?
But it's just, here's how you make the gun safe. Here's how you load it.
Is it open carry at all, or is it just a course on just how to do it,
and then they get to shoot.
Gotcha. Okay.
And all the bullets are free. I buy them.
Wow.
And so I want people to be safe with guns. And so that's why we do it. And so there's been quite a few professors at OSU that went out and bought a gun, but didn't even know how to load it. Whoa. And so they bring it out there and we let them shoot. And we have...
as long as they have a safe place to learn.
Right.
And I mean, you're a great teacher. I mean...
Well, my friend Scott Peterman is a great teacher. Yeah. But he talks about stance and how to do it so that when I took the concealed carry course, there's about 20 of us sitting around a table over in Sumner, Oklahoma, a church, and the guy says, take your gun, make it safe, put it in front of you. So you unload it, set it right there. And he said, I want you to look at that gun. If you can't kill someone with that, you don't need to be in this course because we're going to teach you how to be safe. But the whole point is if you pull that out, you're either going to kill someone or you're going to eat it.
Right.
They're going to take it away from you and hurt you.
I remember there's a Florida sheriff that, maybe it was Florida, maybe it was Nevada, one of those two states. The sheriff said the intruder was shot and or was fleeing and was shot by a good Samaritan. And you're not in trouble. We would just like you to come to the police station and we'll give you free courses on how to handle a gun because we prefer the victim, or not the victim, but the perpetrator to be dead so we don't have to pay the bills for this guy. It was like, dang.
Okay. So that's what that, so 29 other times I've 1 to 29 is my voting record. So I have an A rating with the NRA.
Ooh.
And it's been out there, though, that I have an F rating, and that's not true.
Okay. Interesting. Why? I mean, obviously the reason is to just slander and just try to get into your position, obviously.
Right.
Let me ask you, this is an interesting one. Voted to give preference to LGBTQIA+ for membership on Oklahoma child welfare boards.
The whole bill was about 10 pages. It was 6 years ago. I was pretty new.
Okay.
And I didn't read in there. It doesn't give preference. It just says, and we don't even have that board. That's what's funny about this. They're trying to create a board, and if I get reelected, I will do a board.
Okay.
Or I will try hard to do a board. Department of Human Services is the only agency out there that doesn't have an overseeing board. Mm. And in this bill that Jason Dunnington did, it said, and I didn't read the fine print, so it's my fault.
I got you.
Anybody can be on this board. That's what it was.
Okay.
And the governor gets to pick them, okay? Mm. But in it said, in the fine print, even if you are LGBT,
lesbian, gay, bi, transgender,
you could be on that board.
What is gender?
Well, that was 6 years ago, so who knows
gender
for
non-binary
sure.
Or gender non.
Yeah.
The alphabet one is getting to me, and the plus one, I don't.
So I did vote on that, but it never made it. We don't have that. And here's the thing that people don't understand.
Yep.
Jason Dunnington was trying to pass that, and we were asked by by Speaker McCall, listen, when we take the title off of a bill, and most people don't understand this, so you look up there on what you're voting on, and it says housing for poor people.
Right.
That's going to cost money. So we're going to take the title off, put parentheses around it, and now it can't go to the governor until it comes back to us. So out of respect for everyone on this floor, vote yes to give them a chance to fix it.
Huh.
So I voted yes, like the speaker asked me to.
Interesting.
But it never passed.
Right.
We still don't have that board that I would like to create. But now I'm smarter about how I read things.
Okay.
So
giving you another 6 years would not be a bad idea.
Well, I hope so.
I don't think so. I mean, I came in here with a mindset of thinking, I'm like, okay, I'm going to challenge him. I'm going to get, like, especially with the co-sponsor and allowing illegal aliens to obtain a driver's license. Like, I'm like, they're going to be able to vote. This is going to be a domino effect, all this. You clearly were prepared. You came here, and you laid it out just how it should be.
I don't know if there's one on there I'd like to bring up just to show people.
Give it a look.
There's one that says,
one?
I voted to expand government, so it's going to cost us more. And it says you created Service Oklahoma. Is that on that list?
Service, social... Voted against allowing second constitution. Authorized millions in corporate welfare to the Anti-American National Basketball Association.
Oh.
Yeah, the NBA for...
Thunder.
Yeah.
Whenever...
Well, they should pay more, I think, in my opinion.
It was because it was whenever the national anthem situation was going on where athletes were taking a knee. And so the accusation is that all the NBA is liberal and we shouldn't support them at all. But
so
if
we
you
get
look
rid
at
of our team, or
right, that's what that's saying.
I should have voted against that to get rid of our team.
And you know, the Thunder are like one of the few things that OSU and OU people can like come together on.
Exactly.
And I think everybody kind of enjoyed the run that they went on this year. I mean, we
enjoyed the Hornets when Katrina hit, and we made it a big deal in the Ford Center, and then we updated our arena. And then we had Clay Bennett buy the Sonics and then relocate them here. And we've had a great blast until number 35 screwed it up for everyone else.
Okay,
but it's been a great economic boom.
Are you guys ever, like, can I recommend for the house? So, like, for, like, school, for teaching kids, can we, like, when we get to the 30s, can we do 31, 32, 33, 34, 36, 37.
He's saying cut out 35 for Kevin Durant.
Can we cut out 35? We don't need that number anymore.
Or change the name of Durant, Oklahoma. It can't be Durant, Oklahoma anymore.
So let me finish saying this, though. Okay, so I've been told that I'm trying to expand government, and I'm not.
Yes.
Service Oklahoma. Have you bought a license plate or gotten your driver's license renewed?
Yes.
You went to the tag agency.
Yeah.
Well, we're trying to make the tag agency more important.
And I couldn't do it here in Stillwater. I had to go to the Perkins tag agency because Stillwater's tag agency is difficult.
Yeah, and we're trying to make it better.
Okay.
So we changed the name from tag agency to Service Oklahoma so that eventually, when we get all the kinks worked out of it, we had to improve all the computers. Mm-hmm. But eventually, we want you to, instead of driving to Oklahoma City to get a death certificate,
right?
All kinds of stuff, your Service Oklahoma. So all we did was change the name.
So could you get your Social Security, like a newborn child, get their Social Security card from there too?
No, because that's federal.
Okay.
Yeah, and
but
just like
birth certificate, you can get a birth certificate there.
Birth certificate, death certificate. We're trying to make it more user-friendly.
Right.
But we didn't add to the government. We just changed the name. So
there's no more DMV?
No, there's still a DMV, and it's down by Our Daily Bread on 12th Street.
There's no more tag agency, though.
There's no more tag agency. It's Service Oklahoma. Okay. So all we did was change the name. But I'm being attacked that I was trying to expand government. We're trying to make government smarter.
Trying to make government work more for the people, better for the people, not more for the people, but better for the people.
Exactly.
So it's easier for the people.
Kind of like a one-stop place to get your Oklahoma documents.
Kind of like a Walmart.
Yeah. or an on-cue.
Or an on-cue.
Since we're in Stillwater, an on-cue.
On-cue is Stillwater, so yeah.
Yeah, on-cue, yeah. What is this voted against halting the Orwellian policy that forced concerned parents to undergo government propaganda classes? What is that? Is that something made up?
I think it was put on there to make
Talley
the list,
voted
the
against
list look
halting
longer.
a new controversial policy. This policy sought to mandate government classes for cautious parents who had concerns about government-mandated vaccination effects on their children. Talley's vote effectively supported this intrusive government overreach, disregarding the rights of diligent and informed parents.
I think they just put that on there to add one more thing to the list.
Okay.
To make it look longer.
I'm not sure. I
have a list, guys, so I'm just reading from the list.
There's something that people don't understand. I didn't. When rules come out, so when government agencies, Oklahoma government agencies, like the Department of schools,
State Department of Ed,
State Department of Education, they want to come up with some new rules. They send them to us, and we vote all for it or all against it.
Okay.
There's no take this out.
Right.
Okay? And so I think
they can
there were
sneak stuff in there if they want to.
There are 4,000 rules that we voted on this year.
Jesus.
Yeah. And so there's a rules committee, and they just say, okay, the Department of Human Services wants to change these 10 rules.
Right.
We don't ever see them. Do you vote for them or do you vote against them? And so they sometimes, whoever's on the rules committee can do some things to you that you don't know.
I got you.
I got a call from the guy that owns OnQ, and he said, John, there's some rules coming out by the state government that's going to hurt OnQ and Quick Trip and places like that. Would you vote no on these rules? Okay, well, there were 47 rules.
Right.
I just wanted to vote no on this one. All the rest of them were good.
But you have to vote no on all of them.
Right. And so people were mad at me, and I'm like, well, I'm doing what my constituents want. So it's not as easy as people say it is.
Why aren't we doing a one vote kind of like on one subject instead?
We're going to try to change that next year if I get back in. Anthony Moore from Clinton, Oklahoma, wants to fix that so that it makes it more clear what you're voting on instead of here's this package.
Right.
It's yes or no.
It definitely needs to be fixed on the federal level because when, the media can turn any kind of bill into whatever they want, it sounds like it needs to be changed on our state level as well, where it can help the constituents to understand why you voted for it better or why you didn't vote for it better because it's on one subject instead of, hey, we had 48 subjects, and I voted yes on one and no on the other one, or wanted to, but when I voted yes, they all became yeses, or vice versa. So
you explained it well.
But I think the other thing is America is advanced citizenship. Like you have to actually get in there and study it, and it's a lot easier to have somebody show you that and make you scared and tell you who to blame for it than it is to actually pay attention, because that's a lot easier to just let somebody tell you what to be afraid of.
That's true.
I read about 1,000 bills this year and learned that if it says amendatory at the top of the bill, that means this is already law, this 10, 20, 30, 40. Did you know the marijuana bill is over 700 pages long? And so every year we add about 20 laws to it because we didn't know when we got this 6 years ago that the Chinese cartel, the Mexicans, the Chinese, the Irish from Ireland are here. Yes.
Really?
And they own lands.
Like the IRA or not RIA, but
IRA.
Is it the Irish?
Yeah. So what people don't understand is, what if they came and said, you know what? We don't want this house, but we want some land back here. We're going to pay you $20,000 an acre, and we'll pay you $50,000 just to use your name. Here's a backpack full of $100 bills.
Jesus.
And so That's what the Chinese triads were doing. Is there were over 300 illegal in Payne County. And so we've closed about 200 of them. But they're selling marijuana in Florida.
How are they buying? My first question, sorry for interrupting.
No.
How is the Chinese buying land when they're foreign?
Well, that's the deal.
We're not allowed to sell foreign.
They're not allowed to,
right?
but they keep your name on the deed.
So you technically own the land still.
Right.
Yeah, and you just got a backpack full of cash.
Right.
So you've got gas and groceries for the rest of your life.
So
all these people...
Your patriotism is out the door at that point.
Exactly. And we never talk about that farmer or that rancher or that... I got letters all the time saying, hey, we only want 1 acre of your land. Mm-hmm. We'll pay you $50,000, and we'll pay you $50,000 for your name. $100,000 for 1 acre of our land right next to our house.
Tally silly weed.
and I'm like, no, I'm not selling that.
Right.
But a lot of people sold and then moved so that they didn't take the heat for somebody growing illegal marijuana.
What does this do to the real estate taxes and everything
Exactly.
like that? Because I know, like, when you're building a new neighborhood, or even like the Yukon just recently voted down the amphitheater because everyone knew their taxes was going to go up about 7-8% higher because of the revenue and the district that was coming there. So they voted no on that amphitheater. Was the atmosphere of that with these cartels and Chinese?
Well, Clay Bertram is a cattleman around here, and the Cattlemen's Association says that land is almost too expensive. If you wanted to get into it and start a cattle operation, you couldn't do it. You can't afford the land. Jeff Beasley, who owns the Duncan Theater and Gofredo's in Cushing, said, John, the land around Stillwater is so expensive. I want to put in some Dunkin' Donuts over here, donut shops.
That'd be cool.
But he said it's so expensive because of the marijuana.
Because is it the dispensaries, or is it the actual farms?
the illegal grows have made the prices of land go up so much. So there's several people that think, and I'm not sure, but several people think, did you notice that we only had 1 car wash in Stillwater, and now we have 5?
I've heard a rumor that, or a theory that it's some type of money laundering scheme.
Right.
I mean, you're the first official.
Well,
type of
and
guy
there's no
that
way to
said
really
something.
look into it.
How come?
Because they're
the money
paying
that's coming out is technically legal.
Right.
At that point.
Right.
You're right. I've watched.
It has been laundered.
I've watched Breaking Bad. I know how it works.
Oh, okay. I haven't watched Breaking Bad, but
I was gonna say Lethal Weapon 2, but
Lethal Weapon.
That's the first place I heard it.
So it's just interesting. People want to come in and say, okay, these guys are doing the wrong thing at the Capitol.
Right.
You're talking about new people coming into the Capitol.
Yeah, new people are running. But if you looked at who's funding them, if you look at what that group funding them stands for, a lot of these groups don't want public schools. A lot of these groups, how can I say this?
Just say it.
Well,
they don't want a union. They don't want.
Well, they say, Ryan Walters says all the time that teachers are communists or teachers are woke. Teachers are teaching our kids all this bad stuff, and they really want them to go to private schools. But there's no private school in Coyle. There's no private school in Ripley or
Yale.
We have,
or Yale.
Does Stillwater have private schools?
Yeah, we do. And we have some really good ones.
I didn't know we did.
But what people don't understand is the laws that govern public school.
Right.
So when my wife was running the district, a kid was at Sunnybrook, which is a great school, but they didn't have someone to come in and teach occupational therapy and physical therapy to a kid.
Okay.
Well, the law says that since that kid is in Stillwater School District, Stillwater had to send those two people to Sunnybrook Christian School and take care of that kid. And Sunnybrook didn't have to pay for it. Stillwater Public Schools did. But that kid wasn't in Stillwater Public Schools. So people don't understand the laws that govern.
So the taxpayer paid for it.
Right.
When he wasn't even in a taxpayer system.
Exactly.
For it to be paid.
Right.
So really the private school should have paid ultimately,
They
or
should have.
the parents of that child should have
Yes.
paid.
Basically, I don't understand here.
Oh, you got one of those too?
Basically, I don't understand why.
Molly's is over there somewhere.
You're going to have to pick. If you pick me, do you believe James Langford and that I am for certain things? Do you believe Attorney General Gittner Drummond? Do you believe Frank Lucas? Or do you believe...
So James Langford bothers me because he supported a bill that was supposed to go towards... The bill was titled like it was supposed to be for the border, but instead we sent like $60 billion to $80 billion to Ukraine instead. And to my understanding, Langford was the sponsor of that bill.
Okay, did you read the 500 pages?
No, I didn't.
Okay, so let
I'll
me
be
tell you what it
completely
really
honest about
said.
it. Yes.
And how people twisted it.
Okay.
We don't send any cash. We never have sent any cash.
You send military-grade weapons, right?
Right. So when it says $60 billion or whatever...
We're sending military aid.
We sent military aid.
Right.
A lot of people said that his bill to stop illegal aliens coming across, that it was going to allow more. It wasn't. People want Trump to be able to claim that as victory.
Gotcha.
And so they twisted, just like my opponent, they twisted what Langford did. That was a good bill.
Okay.
It would have stopped totally illegal aliens coming across. But people want Trump to do that so that everybody
I don't care
says,
who does it. I just want it
exactly
done. That's my thing. Just kind of like where Trump was being pressured on who do you want to win, Russia or Ukraine? He said, I want people to stop dying. I want people to stop coming into our country.
Right.
That's my thing.
Right.
I want them to come in the legal port of entry. The backgrounds, the checks that we do at the legal ports, not over a fence or, not throwing babies into a river or what. There's a crazy situation that's going down.
Yes, it is.
By the border. So,
But federal law is different than state law.
Correct. That's
in
why
federal bills,
Texas
they
is being
can
sued
put
by the federal government, correct?
Stuff.
So,
yes, and
because
so
of their
are we.
wall? We're being sued by the federal
Yes.
government? What'd we do?
Well, because we passed a law a month ago that said if you're an illegal alien and you get stopped, you can be detained, you can be, you can have,
ICE called or...
Yeah, all kinds of
Really?
stuff. But the federal government, Joe Biden said, hey, we
legally, as a state, can't deport people. But
we're not deporting them.
Right,
we're
but we
saying
can
you
send-
have to leave.
We can send them anywhere else in the United States, kind of like what Governor Abbott and Governor DeSantis has been doing. They've been sending them to blue states, to my understanding.
Right.
Are we doing something similar? Because I'd be okay
No,
with
not
it.
yet. But so the whole point of our law is you're driving, you drive recklessly, you get stopped, you don't have any papers on you. We can say you have to leave within 3 days or you go to jail.
Gotcha.
Okay?
Okay.
Now, I think Texas, because they're on the border,
Right.
they should be able to deport.
I think
because they're on the border.
I think any border state should be able to.
I totally agree.
So north or south, whichever border, I think they should be able to have that state right to deport the people they don't want there.
Totally agree. But I was just saying that people...
Sorry for getting off subject.
No. People misread what Langford was trying to do. They twisted it just so that...
I believe that bill didn't go through.
No, it didn't. Okay. It didn't. But in federal bills, they can add lots of stuff.
Gotcha.
In Oklahoma, it can only be one subject. So if you want to change the speed limit on I-35 from Kansas to Oklahoma City, it can only be that.
It can't be other highways.
It can't be other highways and stuff. It can only be one subject. So you can't, but in federal law, you could say, okay, we want to change that speed limit. We want to add some money to build a bridge in Tahlequah. We're going to put some money in there for OSU.
But Tahlequah is not even on I-35.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. In federal law, you can add lots of stuff. So
it doesn't have to be about the subject.
People think that state law is the same. That's all I was trying to make the point. Because they'll say, John, make sure no pork spending gets put into a bill. Well, it can't.
Because the bill is one subject.
Right.
Okay. By the way, did you know conibears got legalized?
No.
Yeah, I got pushed through. The conibear trapping, they got, so it's only water sets on
He contacted me and said, hey, you got to get this.
Yeah, and he came on the podcast. We talked about it, and I looked into it. Conibears are legal now on private land and only water sets.
Okay.
And I don't think you have to take courses for it.
Okay, good.
Which I feel like you should probably take courses for.
There's so much now, though, on the internet. If you studied it, I mean, you could
if you really want to take your time to go out and set traps, you probably have studied it or gone.
You don't want to lose an arm or something.
Right. That's what I did. I watched a whole bunch of YouTube videos and just learned that we didn't have, big cats like mountain lions, and learned we didn't have wolves, and I was watching the wrong YouTube videos. I needed to start watching Alabama guys or, Texas guys, because I was watching those northern, like, Canadian guys that would get 180, 200-pound wolves, and they're like, the paws are the size of their hands.
Oh, my gosh.
They were. And they'd sell for $750 to $1,000 a pelt. They're nice pelts, thick.
Wow.
Wolverines would sell nice, but we don't have that. Do we have badgers here?
I think so.
Do we really?
I think I've seen a badger or two out there by us.
Crazy.
So, yeah.
Because I saw that as a trapping option, that you could trap badgers. And I was like, I've never ever thought we had badgers here.
So how would you kill it once it's in the trap?
Pop in a head.
Oh, okay.
22 or 17 HMR.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Wow.
Go to your next trap while it's being dispatched,
Well, so the only reason why I brought up all these guys is because there's nobody that you agree with totally. And I agree with that. You shouldn't agree with everyone totally.
Right.
And you should be able to question, why are you doing this? What's behind it? What do you get out of this?
I should also do more research, because I did openly admit I didn't read the 500 pages of that bill. I didn't read the 10 pages or 13 pages of the illegal aliens to obtain a driver's license. I didn't read, I literally came in with this, and I honestly wanted you to explain it to me, and you did. You made it very clear and put it out.
Well, I respect that so much, because most people that I've talked to who are not going to vote for me have just said, here's what your opponent said, and I must believe them.
I wanted to cover the ones that bothered me the most. I mean, we went over quite a few, but I mean, at the same time, a lot of the, I mentioned one, and you're like, I don't even know what that is. Maybe it's an add-on that they wanted to kind of slander or do something. So
well, and the other thing too is after 6,000 votes, and some of them never even made it to the floor. Some of those are committee votes.
Right.
Some of them are rules votes. And so, out of 6,000, you can probably find something that you don't like.
Yeah.
Or you can twist it to make it say what you don't like.
Yeah.
That would make sense.
Yeah.
And so those don't explain that. When was it? What was going on? What did the constituency say?
They all start with Talley co-sponsored this bill. Talley voted against SB 210. Talley voted against Talley this. It doesn't tell you a year, except for voted against requiring the identity of those submitting mail-in ballots to be verified.
Okay.
Let's go over that, because she does actually have. She said this would have opened Oklahoma up to the same 2020 election chaos that plagued so many other states.
Okay, so listen, what was the date?
2020. She mentions 2020 election
Okay,
chaos.
so what was going on in 2020?
COVID.
Exactly. So we passed a law that said just during COVID, if you're sick, you can have two people sign your affidavit with your notary to vote, but you have to send in a photocopy of your driver's license. And so it only lasted for those 2 years that we had COVID because we didn't want those people to get out.
I get that.
So
I just, maybe I'm a little more crueler, or just more like, I feel like if they can't get out and vote, they don't get the opportunity because everyone else has to go to the ballot box or has to actually get out and go. And I mean, how we've always lived is if you don't vote or don't go, then you don't vote and your vote doesn't count. I mean, I get that maybe they do want to vote. Wow, that is I just put myself in a box. Dang it. Oh.
So, yeah, and you know, as a state representative, you're trying to think of the whole picture.
Yeah.
Let's say your dad is sick. He can't get out of bed. He wants to vote. He's begging you, please let me vote. Mm-hmm. And you go, nope, sorry. And so,
I mean, I'd tell him I'll drive you there if you want. that's my
yeah,
opinion.
but remember the law across the United States was that person isn't supposed to go somewhere to be around people.
I get it. Yeah.
We were stuck in a.
We were basically still open for the majority of COVID, so it didn't really affect me. This whole, the whole COVID thing didn't really affect me. I mean, I noticed everyone wearing masks and stuff, but it didn't seem as serious as New York or California was. Well,
we still had quite a few people die.
Oh yeah, I get that. Yeah.
And so
I'm not trying to downplay it.
No,
either,
I didn't think you were.
Compared to New York and LA, where New York everyone's living on top of each other, everyone can just get sick easier. Right. LA is one of the highest populations in the United States, continental at least. Actually, yeah, the whole even Malibu or Hawaii. I mean, I think Los Angeles is bigger than anything those islands.
It's big,
right?
And so people didn't understand COVID. And that's why I kind of feel sorry for doctors and stuff, because we're looking at it now backwards and going, that was wrong. Well, at the time when we were in it, we didn't know what was all wrong and what was all right.
Why was the push for the vaccine more than the idea of, well, maybe try to be in better health, take vitamins, take, antioxidant, or I'm just using Joe Rogan words right now, but antioxidants and just like eat healthy, just have a healthier lifestyle. I mean, I'll openly admit, I listen to Joe Rogan a lot, and he brings up the vaccine, and he says he was never vaccinated, nor was I. I'll openly admit, I wasn't.
Did you ever get sick?
I got sick a few times, got tested both times.
Didn't have it.
Didn't have the antibodies or anything. So
my wife didn't ever either.
It's weird.
But I was sick.
Really?
And I thought I was going to die. Yeah. I felt terrible, had a bad headache. And yes, I did.
You did? Even
after? No, after I did. I was coming home to get vaccinated, and I got really sick.
So you got sick before you got vaccinated?
Right.
So why would you get vaccinated after getting sick when the
antibodies... Because they said it might help you get over it.
Okay.
So here's what happened to me. When I was over, it took the whole month, 2020 December. Mm-hmm. I was sick the whole month. And now I smell... A lot of people lost their smell.
Right.
Mine got crazy better. So now if a kid throws up in school, I can smell it so bad that I get sick.
Ooh.
I can walk into a house like this, and if somebody left urine in the toilet, I can smell it. Jesus. In another room. God. It is weird.
That is weird.
But we didn't know what COVID would do.
Right.
And a lot of people died. So,
the only reason I asked you why you got vaccinated was, I mean, I've listened to, like, even CNN's Dr. Gupa has even openly admitted that, like, getting vaccinated, or if you've had COVID already, those antibodies in your system are almost better than the vaccine that we're giving out.
Yeah.
So I was just curious but I mean, if we didn't know at the same time. So that makes sense. Winding down.
Okay. I would like to be reelected.
Would you like out of all this? Is what, I guess.
I have some, I want to work on
Do you get 3
DHS.
terms or 2 terms?
You get 6. 6 2-year terms.
Okay.
So you can run.
So you run twice for 6 years. Or
No. Okay.
How does this go?
Every 2 years in the Oklahoma state representative runs.
Okay.
Every 2 year. All 101 of us could be, reelected.
Okay.
Or get beat.
So you're rerunning every 2 years.
Yeah. Senators every 4 years.
Okay. So you just did this 2 years ago.
Right. And I did it 2 years ago, and then 2 years ago.
Wow, so, I didn't realize you've already been. So this will be number 4. Wow. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. What do you want to tell the listeners and the viewers?
I would like to run and win again because Department of Human Services. I was talking about the agencies earlier. That agency has 6,000 people working in it. Okay. They take care of kids that are born. So if you abuse a baby, Department of Human Services comes in and gets the police to take that baby away.
Right.
But if you're in a nursing home and you're 100 years old and you get treated bad,
nothing happens.
Well, Department of Human Services is responsible. So they've got this big of thing with 6,000 people, but no governing body over them. And so I would like to help them.
There's no one governing over that body?
No.
So how are they even a thing?
Well, I mean, they were responsible to the governor, but I'm just saying every other agency has a board.
And they don't have a board or anything.
And they don't have a board. And so
would it be Congress people, like representatives that would be
the
on
governor?
The board?
My thought would be to have the governor pick 3 people, the Speaker of the House of Representatives pick 3 people, and maybe the pro tem of the Senate pick 3 people. But it would be people like you on that board, and when the director comes in and says, we need to spend more money over here,
right.
You've done your homework and say, why don't we spend more money on childcare?
Yes. Okay.
Because we can't get more companies. We can't put more people back to work until we have more childcare. And so that would be something I would be working on is childcare.
Okay.
Also, criminal justice reform. We still need to keep working on that because if you go to jail and you stay in Payne County Jail for 6 months while you're waiting,
right,
and then you go to Oklahoma City County Jail, to Oklahoma County, and you go 6 months, and then you get put in prison, when you get out...
You have to pay all 3 establishments.
Yes.
And then there's no way. I remember talking to you about this.
Yeah.
I think I mentioned about Corey Williams. Yeah, it's a system that just traps you regardless, even after you are out. It's always going to haunt you till you're 60, 70. It's basically kind of like college. You're always going to have to pay off.
That's a good.
With that, should we end on how that's how that's
we
kind
can,
of like
but those are things that I want to work on.
Okay. What were you saying about Saul?
Well, one of Saul's kids that he graduated with at Stillwater is in prison in McAllister on death row.
Ooh.
And so
he didn't
this affects
graduate.
us all.
We just happened to be in school at the same time.
Okay. So thank you for the time to
he went on death row. Yeah. Maybe we should end on something good.
And I'm not saying he doesn't deserve what he's got,
Yes, sir.
but we put a lot of people in jail. If you had 3 rolled cigarettes of marijuana, you could go to prison for 5 years.
Right now?
No.
Okay, I
we're
was about
not
to say,
doing that, but we still have people in there.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh wow, we still have people that went to jail and they haven't been released since the new laws have passed.
Right. So there's things we need to work on.
Absolutely.
You have 90 days, 3 months to start paying back. Now you can pay back $10 a month,
right?
But you got to start paying back. Well, nobody's hiring.
Yeah.
Because you walk in and say, "Yeah, I'm a felon."
Yeah.
They're like, "Sorry," and so it's hard.
Yeah, I get it. All right, guys. Go vote June 18th.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
Re-elect John Talley, guys.
There you go.
Polls are open 7 to 7.
Yes.
7 to 7. I'll be out there.
I'll be out there.
Love you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, buddy.
We just did one. And because it's... Hello, Mark Trotter. How are you?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
Good. Welcome to the HeleyCast. What's up, Billy Freeman?
What's going on, man? How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good.
Hello, Marty.
Oh, hey, buddy.
What's up, man? How you doing?
Doing good. How are you?
Next, how are you doing? What's your real name? What's your government name? That is my first question. I'm just going to go right off the bat and go. JJ Wood.
What's up? Long-time listener, first-time guest. Really excited to be here.
You all have headphones now? You get
I got
Healy, what year were you born? 97? 96?
95.
See, all right. Technically, you're a 90s baby, but you missed half of it.